Hello and welcome. I'm Elaine Canyon, sweetly writing happily ever after, one book at a time. And in this video, we're building your cover design toolbox. So today I wanted to talk about pre-made covers. I know that there are a lot of people who will probably go through and watch some of my videos about how to design their own cover, and they're going to get to the end of it and realize that this is not for them. And that's perfectly okay. I want to make sure that that's something that you understand, that I am trying to give you all the tools that if this is something you want to do, that's great, and I want you to succeed at it. But if you start watching through some of these videos and you realize this is not what I want to do, I did not sign up to learn how to use graphic design software. I signed up to write a book and figure out how to get it sold. And that is perfectly okay. So what do you do if you still don't have a lot of money, but you want to have somebody else make your cover? Well, that is where I would suggest that you start going into pre-made book covers. And I'm going to show you some of the places that you can get pre-made book covers and some of the places where you can find designers that will work for a little bit less but still give you a really good product. So let's dive in. So this is the first place that I wanted to highlight, and I'm going to start by saying I've never used any of these places because I am a designer, so I design my own things. But these are places that I have heard a lot of people talk about as places that help them in their author career and for a good price. So Get Covers will do book cover design, and they actually will start you out on a basic book cover for $10. And so if you want a book cover that is just simple, but is going to look professional, represent your genre well, and do everything that you need it to do to get your career off the ground, this is a great option to start with. And this is just for the ebook cover, but for a lot of authors, that's enough because you can go into draft to digital. And if you put in your ebook cover, draft to digital, and I think Amazon will do this too, they will create the back wraparound for a print book. But for $10 more, $20, you can get the print ready cover. So it gives you the ebook cover and the print cover. This is the least expensive option with the highest quality result that you can get. So if you are in a situation that you need help getting your cover put together and you do not want to be designing your own cover, but you also don't want to be spending a couple $100 on a good cover, this is a great place to start, okay? They also do a whole bunch of other stuff. They'll do your audiobook cover. They'll help you design a logo. They've got a whole bunch of stuff they do. But getcovers.com, if all you need is to get your book out there, $10 gets you an ebook cover, and you don't need to worry about it past that. And you have a professional looking cover and it's ready to go. So you probably won't get to be very specific with this, but the benefit being that you aren't paying a lot. And I do believe that all their packages come, with revisions. So you can keep changing things to tweak it down. I will say that if you are going to go this route, please be kind to your designers. This is really nice of them to offer unlimited revisions. As a designer, that's a terrifying thing to hear. Because at a certain point, if I can't get it to be what you want, then that means that your vision and my vision are different. And we're not able to come to a consensus on how to get what you need. So as a designer, I just ask you, be kind. Be very kind. If things aren't working and you've asked for 10 revisions, it's time to either look at what you're asking for and how it's being interpreted, or it's time to find something different. Just saying. But this is a good option and a great way to get yourself going for very minimal amount of money. The next place that I wanted to show you, and this is going up a little bit more in price, this is selfpubbookcovers.com. They've actually been in the game for a really long time. They entered in, I think it says up here, they entered in 2013. And this is a hub for designers to come together and to just be able to sell their pre-made book covers. So you can come in here and you can see, I'll just click here on romance really quick, make it easy. And their covers range between $70 and I think I've seen them here as high as about $150. I think that's the highest I've ever seen a cover on here. But they're all pre-made covers, and for these ones, basically all you're going to get is you're going to get a chance to put your name on it and your book title on it, and you might get a couple other little things if you're lucky, like the author might be willing to change the color of the cowboy's hat here. If you look at it and it's like, oh, well, he wears a black hat in my book, can you make it black? The designer might do that. But these are individual designers. These are not people employed by self-pub book covers. So you have to work directly with the designer on what they will and will not modify and change for you. But they will 100% put your name on it, so it doesn't say author name, and they will put your title on it, so it doesn't say book title. This is not a company I've used. Like I said, I haven't used any of them, but they'll go through and they'll help you do free typographic changes right here. And it's a guarantee that once you buy the book cover, the designer won't sell it a second time. That is something that you have to be careful of. But what I do like about selfpubbookcovers.com is that they've recently partnered with Draft to Digital. So nothing is changing as yet. Right now, they're just partners and they're in the process of building up from there of what their vision is and what they want to see happen. But I like that they've partnered with them, because what that means is that there's kind of this guarantee that selfpubbookcovers.com isn't going to go anywhere. So you will have access to these designers for a very long time. Draft to Digital is not going anywhere. Self-pub book covers, because they've partnered with Draft to Digital, at least for a good while, won't be going anywhere either. So if you do end up saying, oh, you know what, I have the money now and I bought, let's say, this cover here, and I really loved it. I want to get back to that designer. I want to get back to this person right here and reach out to them and have them design my next series so that my series matches out. And you'll be able to get back to the designer here because they're going to have an account with Self-Pub Book Covers, and you're not worried that Self-Pub Book Covers is going to go under at any point in time in the near future. So this is one that I knew somebody else had suggested, and it's getpremades.com. And what I see here is that it gets a little bit more expensive. So you can, with Get covers, you're starting at $10, $20, $35, somewhere in there. Self-pub book covers, you're going up again. You're at about that $70 to $150 range. Get Premades, we are starting at $100. We're starting at $100, but you can see that we're getting different quality here. We're getting a lot of options. And again, pricing is varying. So we've got 150, 130, 160, 180. So there's lots of options. And you can see that each site that sells pre-mades is going to have a specific design that's more prominent. But you can see that like the price has gone up, but also the variety has gone up. So we have a lot of other options that are going on. You can see some layering has happened. Some of these are on sale at the moment. So if you like a cover a lot and it's cheaper, you can get it there. And again, this is one of those things where you will probably get your name put on it, and they will probably change the title to match your title. And that's probably all you're going to get. These are probably not ones where you're going to get to shift everything that you might want to shift. So for example, you want a heart full of stars, instead of being in yellow, you need it to be in pink. That might not be something that the designer is willing to do, or that the website will let you do. The one thing that's nice is that for these prices, you get the ebook, for some of them, you get just the ebook, and for some of them, you get ebook and print. And it looks like they'll also help you with additional formats if that's something that you need, probably for a price. So we've gone up a level in price. Now we're going to go up another level in price. Okay, so this is the Author Buddy, and I'm including it. The one thing with it is that they are romance and women's fiction specific. But I wanted to include them because if you are a romance writer, they sell, or they give designers the option to sell series as a set. So this is a whole series. You get all 4 covers. It's $460. And I'm sure the designer will go through and make sure that your cover or your titles fit in the covers and you're able to get your author name and everything on there. Same with this one here. You've got 3 covers for $345. This one is specific to romance though. So the author buddy, if you write romance, you'll have $105 is, as I've been looking through it, seems to be the starting point. That's how much one cover will cost you. But if you write romance and you do write in series and you would like to have all of your series ready to go without having to worry about trying to get back to a designer or anything like that, or having to work with the designer again to make something similar, this is a good option because you get all of your covers at the beginning ready to go. You can start advertising with them from the beginning, and it's a good option. So this is the last pre-made site that we're going to look at. This is the bookcoverdesigner.com. And these ones are a little bit of everywhere as far as the price goes. Some of them are down here at like that $45 range. Some of them are up at $115. I've seen a couple of them as I've searched through here that have gone higher than that, like $150. Yeah, that one's $145. So again, another option, slightly more than some of the other places, but you do get some really cool looking designs, and some that might fit your story better than others, and some of them might be worth it to you based on being able to get it for like $45. So again, another option to go through, and I've heard good things about this. And then if you are somebody who is not wanting any form of AI in your cover, they have the guarantee that there will not be AI in any cover that they sell. And they do make designers hold to that and give their guarantee that they didn't use AI in designing the cover. So that was something I wanted to include it for that reason as well, because I know that there are people out there who are trying very hard to stay away from AI, at least until they know what's going on, or just period. They're choosing to stay away from it entirely. And that's perfectly fine. And this is a good option for you if that's where you're at. So this is the last thing I wanted to show you is if you're looking for pre-mades, another great place to go is Etsy. You can also go to DeviantArt, and I've seen it in a few other places too, but Etsy is one that I like a lot because you're able to work directly with the designer a little bit more. Now, granted, each designer is going to have rules of their own of I'm only willing to do this or I'm only willing to do that, but you're also able to interact with designers who might not want to be on some of these other sites, or because they're not familiar with them, or they don't want a middleman. Every designer that sells on these other sites that I showed you, there is a cut that's taken, and sometimes it's a really significant cut that's taken out of the sale of their cover. Etsy's cut for digital downloads doesn't tend to be as much, and so a lot of designers will come and work here. So this is a custom ebook cover, and it's $75. And so you can come into here with this seller, and you can look at the different kinds of covers she makes, and then she will work with you to create a cover that fits what is going to be best for you, and might be a little bit more in line with what you hope your cover to look like, as opposed to having to sit there and go through and look at all of these pre-made covers and pick something that's close enough. Another nice thing about Etsy is a designer can put something on sale. So it's a good way to follow designers that you like and hopefully be able to get a book cover that you really liked on a cheaper price. And also to be able to get things that are sometimes more difficult to find on these other websites, because these other websites cater to the mainstream. Etsy gets to be a little bit more niche. The designers on Etsy don't have the same kind of rules that they're trying to follow with these other websites. So all that to say that if you know that you've got a cover that you're going to want it to be a little bit more specific, this could be a really good place to start in trying to find a designer. and looking at pre-mades, because you could go through and you can find a pre-made and you're like, actually, you know what? I really love this one. And you can click on it. And then you can go into the designer's page on Etsy, and then you can find out if there's a way to work directly with them or not. You can see if they do other styles than the one that you liked. It gives you a whole lot of options that you don't have when you're looking at some of these pre-made sites, and that you don't have when you're working with Get Covers. As a designer who's worked in a company before, I very rarely was given the same client over and over again. I was given an assignment and told to design it, and I would design it and I'd send it back, and the head designer would send it out and it would go over to marketing and it would just be done. So there's a very real possibility that if you work with Get Covers on the first book and you want to come back and do the second book with them, that it's a different designer who's going to be working on the second book with you than the first designer that worked on the first book with you. Now, that's not a guarantee. They might be very happy to hook you back up with the same person that did it before, assuming that they still work with them. Designers do move on to different jobs. I am a good example of that. I moved on to work on my own stuff. So there are options out there that if it's important to you to be able to work with the same person again and again, Etsy's a good place to come back to, or any of the other pre-made sites that I showed you. One thing I like about Etsy is you have a direct connection with the designer, whereas with those other pre-made sites, you are going through a third-party website. And so if they ever decide to stop working with that third-party website, you're going to have a really hard time finding them if they didn't work directly with you through email or something like that. If you didn't get direct contact information, it can be hard to get back to them. I hope that was helpful. I don't ever want you to feel like not designing your own cover is a bad thing. I don't really think you would be. In the author world, it's a little bit disparaged on to design your own cover until you are able to specify that you do it well, and you do that by designing a good cover. But if you don't want to design your own and you want a professional to do it, Get Covers is a really good option, especially if it's a standalone and you know you just need this one book. Another great option are the pre-mades, and then I absolutely 100% suggest working with designers on Etsy. I think it's a great place to find good designers, especially designers that are willing to come back and work with you again and again and again, because you're going to have direct contact to them and an ability to get them the most money that they can get for the covers that they design. I hope this video is helpful. If there are other websites that you know about for pre-made book covers that work really well, I would love to hear about it down below in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps other authors to find it. And if you don't want to miss out on more videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I post videos on Wednesdays about cover design, discovery writing, and self-publishing on a shoestring budget. I hope to see you again soon.